to take on Clem than what we might have originally been thinking. Lambo is going to be the challenger from the Rebellion. He is the Zerg to try and take on Clem. Clem continues a ridiculous map winning streak as of late. Can he keep it up in this series as well? Is going to be the question. At some point, I feel through this weekend, Clem will lose a map. Like, I mean, as impressive as Clem is, I don't think just winning and winning and winning is something that really works in WTL. Like, to be able to do that non-stop is really extremely difficult because of the way the loser map pick works, and the level of competition here as well is obviously through the roof, so I just don't know if it's going to be in this series. Of course, the winners of this best of 7 of the teams is going to move on to play Weibo Gaming today. That's Oliveira, it's Hero. That's obviously a very strong team as well. That's going to be one to watch for when we get to it. Sue's on that roster as well, right? Sue, and then also Yeshi. Not sure if Sue would play today, but yeah, just thinking about who else might join Hero and Oliveira on the player list. I believe Sue's on. I think Sue was on Dragon Taisi for a little bit, right? Before the Weibo naming rights took over for eSports World Cup. Well, we got set up and take a couple of moments just to see where we are going to go. Obviously, not too much to talk about. Super early game TvZ. A lot of the openings are going to be pretty standardized, and this is very much so just one of those moments right now where there's nothing super crazy happening. It's a little bit of a push around. Pulling back out into the center as well. Moving about, Overlord chilling overhead, a hatchery on the right side, hanging about a little bit as well. So just continue to get that on the go. Couple queens going to be there, and the Reaper already getting turned back around. Going to push that back very quickly, so pretty comfortable stuff. Reaper tries to hop up. Lings are going to be there though, going to have to hop back down. Nothing too fun about that just yet either. Well, maybe just try and find some openings. Kind of wondering if Lambo's going to do anything wild or if he's just going to try and play the power of this map and play the macro game on it. Thing is, Clem has shown us his ability to play a macro game on this map. Doesn't matter if it's a little bit Zerg favored or whatever, like that doesn't bother Clem. He has shown us his ability to kind of be very good on maps like this anyway, so it's obviously not a guarantee or anything. I mean, no one's saying it's a guarantee, just it's just a difficult position. I cannot stress enough how tough this really is right now for the Shopify Rebellion. Clem is such a challenge, and you gotta have a little bit of fortune, I think, a little bit of an overperformance to really kind of win this overall series when Clem's on the roster right now, playing as he is. A little bit of action there as the Reapers move through. A couple of shots coming about. Queen's moving over that right-hand side. Just going to be seeing the Cloak, the Banshee continuing to come in. SCVs and Barracks building also. Lambo just on his way to that Baneling nest. Clem is going to have some Cloak Banshees to harass with, try and take some control. Also very good in case Lambo had been aggressive. Right, would keep him in a little bit of a safer position, having some of those units that can really fight against any Roach army that shows up and so on. Keep some pressure up against them. It's usually a very good deal. It's not going to be the case this time around, but the general idea from Clem of why you would open Cloak Banshee, the advantages it gives you rather than, over just also the harassment potential, is pretty fair. So I expect Clem to play a lot of Cloak Banshee stuff if he's feeling favored or just feeling good. Played a lot of Hellion Banshee against Cyril as well in the eSports World Cup. So obviously a style he's very comfortable with, and to be fair, Hellion Banshee is one of those baseline styles that all Terrans have to be comfortable with. If you're not comfortable with a style like Hellion Banshee, what are you really trying to achieve playing Terran? It is just such a baseline style. It does so much for you. The defensive nature of it really helps out massively while also having harassment potential. Lambo loses some drones, transfer into the gold base. The 4 workers go down there, and Hellion's just finding Lambo a bit out of position. Now the Banshees get a few workers as well, and this is the beauty of Clem. With those Banshees, if they don't have to play defense, they get to come on offense, and they are going to find corners and positions and just little corners when you're not quite ready for them. And that's going to be where Clem really nets himself even more of an advantage here. Overseer finishes, so we have some more mobile detection. But that queen on its own is not going to be enough, and we are going to lose that queen. Second queen showing up. Clem just decides to commit with the Banshees. He turned around onto the spawning pool there. A little bit of a mistake in what was otherwise a very good bit of Banshee play. I was just about to comment on the fact that he might have even just judged it perfectly to get away, and I think if he didn't hit that spawning pool, he would have got away with that one Banshee. 15 drones killed already is massive. The only thing that's going to save Lambo for the foreseeable future is the fact that this map is Zerg favored. It's big, it's sizable, it's difficult for the Terran to take momentum and run with momentum on, so I think that's a pretty big deal as well. Overseer still moving around just a little bit too. Queens are going to get there. Lings, Queens getting pushed away. A little bit of a push here from Clem as well, trading out and able to get some picks. A little bit of back and forth coming through as we have ourselves a Banshee trying to attempt to go elsewhere as well. These few Marines are going to step forward, but they get rid of a Baneling. That's actually quite nice. Getting rid of a Bane is always going to be pretty appreciated. Any Baneling you kill is a big win for a Terran player. Less Banes rolling into you. Never something they complain about, believe it or not. I know, something Terrans don't complain about, incredible. Hunting strong for a couple moments as we set up on the sides, and we do have a few more Marines stemming up. The Lings are going to run forward again. Just trying to come through. As of right now, I mean, Clem is just going to lift up into those medevacs and keep pulling back. The efficiency's already there. The supply lead is already there for Clem. 158, now 165 to 135, so Clem really does have a sizable lead in play. Marines and a couple of mines are going to come forward. A couple of drones in some trouble. Widow mines get burrowed up. The Ling Bane is stacked here. Lambo surely has to kite back. Widow mines do start to come in. They hit drones. They hit some of the clusters. Another Widow mine shot hits a few Lings. Marines still pushing up. The Widow mine burrows again. And with another scan, we keep on moving on for a little bit. It's going to fight. Hatch going to get jumped on. Oh, nice fungal growth there. Marines will get a couple of lifts before the Banelings kill everything off, but at the same time, Clem's pushing to the left side too. Supply lead is maybe not what it once was, but the creep is non-existent. The base, the amount of bases you have as Lambo is nowhere near what it should be for this sort of stage of the game. It is not looking pretty. We've said it a couple times now. Nothing's really changing in Lambo's favor, but Clem is just so freaking good. Especially in this TvZ matchup, and there's just no denying that right now. Clem looking to keep extending his map winning streak for the moment. But if mine shoot, that Ultras goes down. One of the things that Lambo might have been able to try and stabilize on is the Ultras. By getting some Ultras out and so could have maybe done something, but that's just not a thing at all just yet. Well, bio unloading there. The Lings and the Ultra continue to move forward. And the Ultra going to go back down to the low ground. Marines are going to dive up, and they're going to actually go after a few of those drones as well. So a little bit more damage being dealt. Medevacs load up. Widowmine shot is going to be beautiful. And a few more Zerglings. And again, Lambo's supply is now down almost by 50. So he's not going to tap out yet, but it's definitely heading in the wrong direction for him, to say the very least. Ultras continue over. The couple of Banes are going to roll across in toward that army as well. Also just going to try and get there. Ultra Bane coming through one more time. The Marauders are going to fire it up, and the Lings will run forwards, trying to get a wrap around themselves here. Well, as Lings get in, that's a lot of SCVs dropping. Medevacs is continuing through. The Viper continues up there as well. Ultras actually do get across the map. I mean, this is just one dive from Lambo. Clem still has aggression on the other side. The Liberator sieging, Widowmine's firing. Lambo has a GG, and Clem takes the first map here. Especially because even if Clem gets a bit of momentum, the size of the map can undo some of that. So Clem has a 1-0 lead as Lambo looks to strike back on his map pick of Golden Aura. Let's see if he will be successful here. Goes overload pop, and we get in position, we get settled down. Clem, I think, puts Liquid into such a good position if he wins this. Remember, if he wins this 2-0, he just needs one map off of whoever gets revived. If that's Beyond, I could imagine Clem can go 1-1 against Beyond. I know it'll actually be fascinating to see his TvT, because we've just not really had to see his TvT. A little bit of against Spirit yesterday, but against the Koreans, we haven't had to see it despite eSports World Cup and everything. Despite Clem having practiced in Korea for that, it's going to be fascinating to see if the problem for Clem, which has been his TvT, is something that can actually be resolved. Really excited to see if we actually get some of that Clem Korean TvT. Well, for now, we are going to see the SCV coming down the bottom right. Gonna have a little bit of a scout over here, see what's up. Answer, not a lot just yet. Naturally will go down, so it's gonna get into that forward position, drop that straight into place. We're just going to fire, and a couple of shots coming through. Lings and the Queen gathering here then. And you'll see where Clem wants to take this over the next little while. Definitely some potential to make this interesting. Wumbo time, thanks so much for the 27-month resub. How you doing? Clem the Unstoppable definitely has been the case recently, hasn't it? I guess we're hoping for the sake of a good series that Shopify Rebellion do find a way. Forward again towards the later part of this series, to be honest. Alright, well, Hellions coming up from Clem. He's getting that starport on the Go third CC building. Besides, the miss map does keep Clem a little bit safe early. It's also one of these maps where Clem should not be feeling too concerned about, again, being all in or anything, because the map is just fairly big. Queens are gathering up. The Hellions and the Reaper coming through. Just going to go after the drone. Hellions coming through. Actually going to see some Lings get on top of them. Drone's going to get jumped on as well. Hellions going to be able to get there and get a couple of those. 4 drones going down. Now a 5th drone going down into the main base. And Clem looking to do damage early. This is bad. If this is more than 10 workers, or anything even close to 10 workers is already bad. I think 8 is pretty terrible, but I was going to say if he got to 10 plus, that would have been horrific. And we were very nearly at that point, right? Like another volley and we could have been at 10. 8's already bad. So early in the game, I mean, you do lose the Hellions and map control that the Hellions provide, so there's something to be said there, but you're also losing that economy as the Zerg, and the economy as the Zerg is typically seen as a very, very important thing. Banshee moving over, a few shots off on the Queens. And Stimpack on the way up as well. The Banshee's just going to try and find something, but at least here Lambo is able to minimize some damage being done. Banshee's firing. I'm just going to go move about. We're going to see more army in the center moving around as well. Marines gonna come through. Overlord goes down. Creep team is gonna be ran past. If we just go for the Queens, actually gonna grab 2, 3, 4 of them as they get caught up on the corner. Gonna be having Mutas just gonna come through. Medevac gonna fire up. Thing's going to try and counterattack up over this direction. So just going to try and come in here. And actually does get through for a couple of tanks. A nice counterattack for Lambo. Sort of idea that you want to be running with, right? A lot of the time fighting Clem straight up is going to be kind of tough. So working around, attacking in different directions is oftentimes one of the better ways to go about it. You see, just gonna have to pull back. It is gonna be Mutas here on Golden Aura, so Mutas playing that very active style might be able to shut down some of the drop play that Clem likes to rely on. Very intriguing. Things run up, just going to be seeing the Thor going to be there. Mutas are going to dive on the Thor. Banes as well. Thor will go down then, but the Mutas are going to be able to continue forward, and then Marines able to chase that away. Marines will get a couple of SCVs. Shots coming through. Oh, gotta be careful though. Mutas eating Widow Mines is obviously gonna lower their HP and bring them into very quickly kind of destructible range, so Lambo gotta be careful there. But I do like that it's Mutas. Like I say, it maybe isn't the kind of go-to style all the time, but maybe this is some sort of a way to keep Clem back and to kind of give you the kind of choice as to how things are gonna go down, as to how this fight is gonna happen. I think that's something we don't see the Zergs ever really getting to do against Clem lately. He dictates the game. But if you play a style that lets you dictate it a little bit more, maybe that can be a way to throw Clem off of his absolute best TvZ into something a little bit different. And it's coming down this ramp, but it's just not enough. No. I guess the problem with Ling Bay Meter is if the Terran does get into a fighting position, they can obviously do very well at, well, exactly that, which is just fighting.